1 Chronicles 23 to 26. The Levites. When David was old and full of years, he made his son Solomon king over Israel. He also gathered together all the leaders of Israel, as well as the priests and Levites. The Levites 30 years old or more were counted, and the total number of men was 38,000. David said, "Of these, 24,000 are to be in charge of the work of the temple of the Lord, and 6,000 are to be officials and judges. 4,000 are to be gatekeepers, and 4,000 are to praise the Lord with the musical instruments I have provided for that purpose." David separated the Levites into divisions corresponding to the sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Gershon, belonging to the Gershonites. Laden and Shimei, the sons of Laden. Jehiel the first, Zetham and Joel, 3 in all, the sons of Shimei. Shelomoth, Haziel, and Haran, 3 in all. These were the heads of the families of Laden. And the sons of Shimei: Jahath, Ziza, Jush, and Beriah. These were the sons of Shimei, 4 in all. Jahath was the first and Ziza the second, but Jush and Beriah did not have many sons. So they were counted as one family with one assignment. Kohathites, the sons of Kohath: Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel, 4 in all. The sons of Amram: Aaron and Moses. Aaron was set apart, he and his descendants forever, to consecrate the most holy things, to offer sacrifices before the Lord, to minister before him, and pronounce blessings in his name forever. The sons of Moses, the man of God, were counted as part of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses: Gershom and Eleazar. The descendants of Gershom: Shubael was the first. The descendants of Eleazar: Rehabiah was the first. Eleazar had no other sons, but the sons of Rehabiah were very numerous. The sons of Izhar: Shelomith was the first. The sons of Hebron: Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, and Jechamim the fourth. The sons of Uzziel: Micah the first and Ishiah the second. Merarites: the sons of Merari: Mali and Mushi. The sons of Mali: Eleazar and Kish. Eleazar died without having sons. He had only daughters. Their cousins, the sons of Kish, married them. The sons of Mushi: Mali, Eder, and Jerimoth, 3 in all. These were the descendants of Levi by their families, the heads of families, as they were registered under their names and counted individually. That is, the workers 20 years old or more who served in the temple of the Lord. For David had said, "Since the Lord, the God of Israel, has granted rest to his people and has come to dwell in Jerusalem forever, the Levites no longer need to carry the tabernacle or any of the articles used in its service." According to the last instructions of David, the Levites were counted from those 20 years old or more. The duty of the Levites was to help Aaron's descendants in the service of the temple of the Lord, to be in charge of the courtyards, the side rooms, the purification of all sacred things, and the performance of other duties at the house of God. They were in charge of the bread set out on the table, the special flour for the grain offerings, the thin loaves made without yeast, the baking and the mixing, and all measurements of quantity and size. They were also to stand every morning to thank and praise the Lord. They were to do the same in the evening, and whenever burnt offerings were presented to the Lord on the Sabbaths, at the new moon feasts, and at the appointed festivals. They were to serve before the Lord regularly in the proper number and in the way prescribed for them. And so the Levites carried out their responsibilities for the tent of meeting, for the holy place, and, under their relatives the descendants of Aaron, for the service of the temple of the Lord. The divisions of priests. These were the divisions of the descendants of Aaron. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father did, and they had no sons. So Eleazar and Ithamar served as the priests. With the help of Zadok, a descendant of Eleazar, and Ahimelech, a descendant of Ithamar, David separated them into divisions for their appointed order of ministering. A larger number of leaders were found among Eleazar's descendants than among Ithamar's, and they were divided accordingly. 16 heads of families from Eleazar's descendants and 8 heads of families from Ithamar's descendants. They divided them impartially by casting lots. For there were officials of the sanctuary and officials of God among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. The scribe Shemaiah son of Nethaneel, a Levite, recorded their names in the presence of the king and of the officials. Zadok the priest, Ahimelech son of Abiathar, and the heads of families of the priests and of the Levites, one family being taken from Eleazar, and then one from Ithamar. The first lot fell to Jehoiarib, the second to Jediah, the third to Haram, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to Malchijah, the sixth to Mijamin, the seventh to Hakaz, the eighth to Abijah, the ninth to Jeshua, the 10th to Shechaniah, the 11th to Eliashib, the 12th to Jachim, the 13th to Huppah, the 14th to Jeshabib, the 15th to Bilgah, the 16th to Immer, the 17th to Hezer, the 18th to Hapitzez, the 19th to Pethahiah, the 20th to Jehezkel, the 21st to Jachin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Deliah, and the 24th to Maaziah. This was their appointed order of ministering when they entered the temple of the Lord, according to the regulations prescribed to them by their ancestor Aaron, as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded him. The rest of the Levites. As for the rest of the descendants of Levi, from the sons of Amram, Shubael, from the sons of Shubael, Jediah. As for Rehabiah, from his sons, Ishia was the first. From the Israelites, Shelomoth. From the sons of Shelomoth, Jahath. The sons of Hebron, Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, and Jechamim the fourth. The son of Uzziel, Micah. From the sons of Micah, Shemir. The brother of Micah, Ishia. From the sons of Ishia, Zechariah. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. The son of Josiah, Beno. The sons of Merari. From Josiah, Beno, Shoam, Zachar, and Ibri. From Mali, Eleazar, who had no sons. From Kish, the son of Kish, Jeremiel, and the sons of Mushi, Mali, Eder, and Jerimoth. These were the Levites, according to their families. They also cast lots, just as their relatives, the descendants of Aaron, did, in the presence of King David and of Zadok, Ahimelech, and the heads of families of the priests and of the Levites. The families of the oldest brother were treated the same as those of the youngest. The musicians, David, together with the commanders of the army, set apart some of the sons of Asaph, Heman and Jeduthun, for the ministry of prophesying, accompanied by harps, lyres, and cymbals. Here is the list of the men who performed this service. From the sons of Asaph, Zachar, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Asarela. The sons of Asaph were under the supervision of Asaph, who prophesied under the king's supervision. As for Jeduthun, from his sons, Gedaliah, Zeri, Jeshaiah, Shimi, Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 in all, under the supervision of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied, using the harp in thanking and praising the Lord. As for Heman, from his sons, Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uzziel, Shubael, and Jerimoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Eliathah, Gedalti, and Romamiezer, Joshbekashah, Malothi, Hothar, and Mahaziath. All these were sons of Heman, the king's seer. They were given him through the promises of God to exalt him. God gave Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the supervision of their father for the music of the temple of the Lord, with cymbals, lyres, and harps, for the ministry at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman were under the supervision of the king, along with their relatives, all of them trained and skilled in music for the Lord. They numbered 288, young and old alike. Teacher as well as student cast lots of their duties. The first lot, which was for Asaph, fell to Joseph, his sons and relatives. The second to Gedaliah, him and his relatives and sons 12. The third to Zachar, his sons and relatives 12. 11 the fourth to Isri, his sons and relatives 12. 12 the fifth to Nethaniah, his sons and relatives 12. The sixth to Bukiah, his sons and relatives 12. The seventh to Jezreelah, his sons and relatives 12. The eighth to Jeshaiah, his sons and relatives 12. The ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and relatives 12. The 10th to Shimi, his sons and relatives 12. The 11th to Azarel, his sons and relatives 12. The 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and relatives 12. The 13th to Shubael, his sons and relatives 12. The 14th to Mattathiah, his sons and relatives 12. The 15th to Jerimoth, his sons and relatives 12. The 16th to Hananiah, his sons and relatives 12. The 17th to Joshbekasha, his sons and relatives 12. The 18th to Hanani, his sons and relatives 12. The 19th to Malothi, his sons and relatives 12. The 20th to Eliatha, his sons and relatives 12. The 21st to Hothar, his sons and relatives 12. The 22nd to Giddalti, his sons and relatives 12. The 23rd to Mahaziath, his sons and relatives 12. The 24th to Romamti-Ezer, his sons and relatives 12. The gatekeepers, the divisions of the gatekeepers. From the Korahites, Meshelemiah son of Korah, one of the sons of Isaph. Meshelemiah had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebadiah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, and Elihoenai the seventh. Obed-Edom also had sons: Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakah the fourth, Nethaneel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Pulathai the eighth, for God had blessed Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom's son Shemaiah also had sons, who were leaders in their father's family, because they were very capable men. The sons of Shemaiah: Othni, Rephael, Obed, and Elzabad. His relatives Elihu and Semachiah were also able men. All these were descendants of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their relatives were capable men with the strength to do the work, descendants of Obed-Edom, 62 in all. Meshelemiah had sons and relatives, who were able men, 18 in all. Hosea the Merarite had sons: Shimri the first, although he was not the firstborn. His father had appointed him the first. Hilkiah the second, Tabaliah the third, and Zechariah the fourth. The sons and relatives of Hosea were 13 in all. These divisions of the gatekeepers, through their leaders, had duties for ministering in the temple of the Lord, just as their relatives had. Lots were cast for each gate, according to their families, young and old alike. The lot for the east gate fell to Shelemiah. Then lots were cast for his son Zechariah, a wise counselor, and the lot for the north gate fell to him. The lot for the south gate fell to Obed-Edom, and the lot for the storehouse fell to his sons. The lots for the west gate and the Shallaketh gate on the upper road fell to Shuppim and Hosea. Guard was alongside of guard. There were 6 Levites a day on the east, for a day on the north, for a day on the south, and 2 at a time at the storehouse. As for the court to the west, there were 4 at the road and 2 at the court itself. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers, who were descendants of Korah and Merari, the treasurers and other officials. Their fellow Levites were in charge of the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries for the dedicated things. The descendants of Ladan, who were Gershonites through Ladan and who were heads of families belonging to Ladan the Gershonite, were Jehieli, the sons of Jehieli, Zetham and his brother Joel. They were in charge of the treasuries of the temple of the Lord. From the Amramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, Shubael, a descendant of Gershom son of Moses, was the official in charge of the treasuries. His relatives through Eleazar: Rehabiah his son, Jeshaiah his son, Joram his son, Zichri his son, and Shelomith his son. Shelomith and his relatives were in charge of all the treasuries for the things dedicated by King David, by the heads of families who were the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, and by the other army commanders. Some of the plunder taken in battle they dedicated for the repair of the temple of the Lord. And everything dedicated by Samuel the seer, and by Saul son of Kish, Abner son of Ner, and Joab son of Zeruiah, and all the other dedicated things were in the care of Shelomith and his relatives. From the Israelites, Kenaniah and his sons were assigned duties away from the temple, as officials and judges over Israel. From the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his relatives, 1,700 able men, were responsible in Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and for the king's service. As for the Hebronites, Jeriah was their chief according to the genealogical records of their families. In the 40th year of David's reign, a search was made in the records, and capable men among the Hebronites were found at Jazer in Gilead. Jeriah had 2,700 relatives, who were able men and heads of families, and King David put them in charge of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh for every matter pertaining to God and for the affairs of king.